Hey everybody, today I am making one of my go-to party desserts. Everybody loves it. It's a homemade ice cream sandwich, but we're doing it with sprinkles. It's a homemade sprinkle ice cream sandwich. Perfect for the weekend. Let's do it. All right, the first thing we're going to do first is to say Josh is back.
Yay!
So there won't be any crying today.
No crying.
No crying and cookie making. The first thing we're going to do is make basically it's a chocolate cookie that's on the outside of the ice cream sandwich. The key is it's a cookie that can't get hard. You know, when like a good ice cream sandwich, the outside is soft, right?
Sure.
So the cookie has to stay soft. So that is key here, and this is a great recipe for it. You're going to use 1 1/4 cups all-purpose flour. Josh, you happy to be home?
Yes.
Good. 1 1/4 cups of that. Then we've got a 1/2 cup of cocoa powder, and I'm using a really good, gorgeous cocoa powder here. That's that to that. It's a really simple recipe, guys. I've got baking soda. I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and a 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. Kosher salt, and that is it for our dry ingredients. You're just going to mix that up. You can sift it for sure. I'm just going to use a whisk, get it all combined. Set that aside. That's it. Done. All right, let's work the wet ingredients. In the standing mixer, I'm going to put 6 tablespoons of softened butter. I've got a 1/4 cup of a light brown sugar or dark brown sugar. I just made this the other day. Put that in. And then we've got a 1/2 cup of just regular sugar. And again, I always make sure if I'm doing something sweet, I use my infused white sugar. So this is a really nice vanilla sugar. So we've got a 1/2 cup of that. So that we're going to go ahead and put our vanilla in. It's 1 teaspoon. You're thinking when you make cookies, typically you might add that vanilla later. Actually, let's go a 1/2 teaspoon on this. I don't think I want all that vanilla flavor. All right, we're gonna just cream that together. Scrape down the side of the bowl as you go, just the regular. We're gonna give it a nice cream before we add our dry ingredients. Let that do its thing. All right, Josh, I've got that nice and creamed together, but it's still like a slightly grainy. This isn't gonna be real frothy and lovely. Now we're gonna add our dry ingredients, but we're gonna do it in increments. We're gonna use 1/2 the dry ingredients first. Just get that going. And then we're gonna put in 2/3 cup of whole milk. So that's gonna be our liquid here to get this nice and wet. We'll add about 1/2 of that, just a 1/3 cup first. Let it do its thing. It's a really dark brown. I love it when it's like a dark chocolate, which is like an ice cream sandwich is, right?
Yes.
Give a little scrape on the side of this too. Gonna add the rest of our dry. We'll just get the rest of that milk in too. That looks really pretty, a nice smooth batter. And now I'm gonna say the hardest part of this entire very simple recipe is the next part. What I've done is line 2 quarter sheet trays. It uses a 1/2 of a sheet tray, so if you were using a full cookie sheet, I just happen to have quarters. I lined them with parchment, I sprayed them, and what we're gonna do is divide this batter in between the 2 of them, and you're gonna put it out kind of in, that's loud. It's so loud.
Yeah, that's enough.
And remember, taste your batter. We're gonna divide the batter in between the 2, since I have 2. But if you were doing it on 1, put it all out on 1. And then you're gonna use an offset spatula. You kind of like dollop it, don't put it all in the middle, because the hardest part is moving this shit around. Remember the cookie on an ice cream cookie? It's not thick, and that's the problem. Like when you make them or you get them sometime, it's like too thick or it's hard, so neither one is great. So I'm using an offset spatula. Let me just show you one. Getting it all like just spread out, because after you evenly get it spread out, we're gonna wanna make sure the top is really flat. When I say flat, like no waves at all. This shouldn't look like you frosted a cake. So I'm gonna press it all the way to the sides. Remember, if you're using your own, just a single sheet tray, just bring it all the way to the sides. You can trim it up later. Don't worry about that. We can cut off any edges to get it nice and square. But the main thing now is just to get an even layer. We don't want it really thick in the middle. We want it an even layer all the way around. And here's a little tip, Josh. You hear it?
Yes.
Little tip.
Yes.
I'm just gonna wet my spatula, just the slightest bit. And I'm gonna run it over the top. And that will make it a bit more even, see?
Sure.
Can you see that? There you go. Got the tops as flat as I can possibly get them. They're going in a 350-degree oven, and this is key. They're gonna bake for 10 minutes. Not 11, not 9, 10. Basically, you want the top not shiny anymore. And it's gonna seem like it's not baked enough, and it is. Remember, this is a cookie that does not get hard, so come back. What do you call it? I love like these old nostalgic kind of cookies for dessert, especially for parties when people don't think about it.
Sure.
The party we did last year for the Swedish dignitaries, when I served bomb pops, loved it. They didn't understand how great it was, but the Americans at the party did. All right, you guys, I took the cookies out of the oven and let them cool for 5 minutes. So they bake for 10, cool for 5. And now I'm gonna use a chopstick to add kind of the iconic little holes on the top of the wafer and just in a uniform pattern. I mean, this is what makes it an ice cream sandwich, right? The chopstick works great. All right, once we get all the holes poked, we're gonna take these out of their sheet trays and we're gonna let them cool completely. Then we're gonna wrap them up, put them in the freezer, and then we're gonna fill them with ice cream and sprinkles. All right, so our cookies are in the freezer, freezing. We want them nice and cold once we start spreading the ice cream. Like everything has to be crazy cold. And I'm taking, it's gonna use about a half a gallon of vanilla ice cream. Sure, you could make your own. I'm not going to. And what we need to do is soften the ice cream just a little bit. And this is the point where you can add any inclusions that you want. You could add some mini chocolate chips here. You could add some strawberries. I'm going to add some sprinkles. And I think we want something fun, like a penny carnival sprinkle. I love these, just nice and colorful. And I'm just gonna get all these sprinkles, let's say, what the heck? It's probably like 3 tablespoons in there. And just let it do its thing, just mix it up. I need to be very careful that I'm not melting the ice cream. I just want to get it soft. Soft enough so it's spreadable on the ice cream sandwiches. Good Lord. Just get that mix, get it spread. Oh my God, the sprinkles I love. So good. doesn't take long. You can even make sure your mixing bowl is a little cold. I'm gonna add a little bit more sprinkles. I don't think that's enough. I want it to be really, look how pretty those are. Ooh. So probably, let's say, about a 1/4 cup of sprinkles. But I'm making a double recipe here because I'm feeding a lot tomorrow. All right, that's perfect. Look at that. That's just what we want. It's almost like it's harder than soft serve. You know what I mean? Not quite soft serve consistency. Just a little bit harder. All right. Now the fun part. All right, you guys, so this is key. Everything is super cold. I froze my cookie inside the sheet tray. If you don't have room in your freezer, just wrap it up. And I've turned, remember, it's a cookie, so there's the top side that's on the bottom and the top side that's on the top. So I took the first layer and I turned it upside down to where the holes are on the bottom. And now we'll just spread our ice cream over this layer. And then we'll add our top. And you guys remember an ice cream sandwich, it's not crazy thick. It's only with cookie, it's only like 1 inch deep. So we don't need tons of ice cream on here. Look how pretty it is with the sprinkles. I love it. Super simple. Now that we've made that ice cream softer, again, it's not too soft, it's kind of just right. We can spread that out. If you think this is gonna take you a minute, keep your other cookie in the freezer. Mine is so cold because I've got a blast freezer in the garage, so I'm lucky. I can freeze things very quickly out there. I think the sprinkles are the perfect amount too. So that was a 1/4 cup of sprinkles. The key is to make sure all the way around your thickness is the same. It's the same as the cookie. Like we want the ice cream thickness to be consistent too. All right, now we're going to put the top layer on this. So remember, we have the holes facing out on the bottom, and now the holes are gonna be facing out on the top. So this is another layer of the cookies that we froze. We're gonna take that parchment off the bottom. And you guys, don't worry if some of your cookie falls apart. Do not worry at all, because once you freeze it again, it's all gonna stay together really well. So I'm gonna just lay that on top. So you look at that little piece that kind of broke off right there. Look, I'm gonna push it right back together. Once it freezes, you're never gonna know. All right, you guys, this is going back in the freezer before we cut it, which is the last and final fun step. This really isn't a lot. It's just kind of back and forth to the freezer. It takes more time and it takes skill. I'm gonna freeze this to where it's nice and solid, so it's probably gonna be about 1 hour before I cut it. So let's go freeze it, then come back and cut. All right, so I just pulled these out of the freezer. I've taken a really sharp knife, keeping everything cold, and I'm trimming off the edges. They're so good. I'm so excited. I'm like a little kid. A traditional ice cream sandwich is like 4 inches long and 2 inches wide. And I'm just gonna cut these using a really sharp knife into ice cream sandwich little squares. And then we're gonna wrap them. And if it starts to get a little warm while you're doing this, you guys, pop it back in the freezer. There you go, there's one done. So then we're gonna wrap, and I cannot wait to show you how we're gonna wrap. This is what makes it special. This is how you can make them like the party favorite, is taking one of your ice cream sandwiches. I mean, look how stinking cute that is. I've been wrapping them. You can wrap them in glycine or parchment or wax paper, just the same way you would get them in the store. And then we did a little downloadable for you, so you can get this in the profile link. where you can use it as a sleeve. Look, it's a little Yum Yum Smile Shop ice cream sandwich. I put it on this one already, see it? So stinking cute. Or do your own, you can wrap it completely. But this is what like really makes it cool to kind of like bring to your table at the end of a meal. I mean, how stinking cute is this? You need to get the recipe right up in the profile link. You'll get this downloadable that you can print up in the profile link, you guys. It's ice cream sandwich that has sprinkles in it. It's a sprinkle ice cream sandwich. I love it. It is the perfect, fun, nostalgic dessert.
How is it?